Hello friend, Terraria 1.4 has been out for a while now, and although there were quite a few nerfs, there's also been a huge amount of new additions and quality of life updates. That's why I've compiled some of the more significant ones in this video, just in case you've missed out on a few of these amazing additions and changes. I'm Zuzukorn and I aim to entertain you, encourage you, and offer you a place to call home. So subscribe now and join the Zuzukorn family. Let's start off with the numerous quality of life updates, which have been absolutely wonderful for the Terraria experience in 1.4 so far. First of all, many item stack limits have been adjusted. I'm sure you've noticed, but torches have had their stack limit raised from 99 to 999. Ore bars, glow sticks, and many other items like alchemy seeds and plants have had this stack increase as well. This is amazing because we no longer need to have several stacks of these, allowing us to have a cleaner, more compact chest. Pirate maps and snow globes have also had this change. Previously, pirate maps couldn't stack and would take up an individual inventory slot. In 1.4 however, they can now stack up to 20 per stack. This is great and really stops the clutter in one's inventory. Next, we have some new items, namely the Void Bag and the Void Vault, which gives you yet another portable inventory. The Void Bag is crafted with bones, jungle spores, and shadow scales or tissue samples, and works similarly to a piggy bank. However, if you have the bag in your inventory, you are still able to pick up items automatically, as per usual, even when your inventory is full. This is great because this lets you pick up loot drops without having to sort out your piggy bank. Items that are picked up by the Void Bag have this purple color, and to access these, you can either summon the Void Inventory by using the bag, or craft a Void Vault, an access point that can be placed down. Next, expert enemies who steal your money after you die will now be saved, and will respawn in the area when you go back. This means that the money won't be gone forever, unlike in 1.3. You can also see where they are and how much they have using the map. I quite like this change. It makes expert mode just a little more forgiving. Personally, I wouldn't really bother going back, so I'd rather just lose the money. But at least it's now an option for you if you do want your money back. Here's a game-changing one. The Angler will no longer give you duplicate accessories if you have one in your inventory. This means that it will be so much easier to finally acquire all 3 of them for the cell phone. I like this change a lot. The Angler's accessories were the biggest obstacle to getting the cell phone. And with this change, I'm sure getting the cell phone will be much more manageable. I like the next change. In 1.4, you can now sleep in beds by clicking the pillow of the bed. While sleeping, time will actually pass faster. This is amazing, because if you lose a boss challenge, like Skeletron for example, you can simply sleep and fast forward to the next night just to try again. It's great if you're waiting for a solar eclipse or blood moon as well. I'm glad we now have an option to fast forward time that is not the enchanted sundial, which also has a cooldown. If you want this to work in multiplayer, every player in the server has to sleep together for the time to move faster. However, take note that one bed can be shared by a maximum of 2 people, so if you have more than 2 players in your server, you need more beds. A small change to planting here. Acorns are now auto-swing. This means that you can now turn on Smartcast and plant all the acorns to your heart's content. Pumpkin seeds bought from the Dryad now only replace fully grown ones when Smartcast is turned on. This just makes farming pumpkins so much more convenient. You will no longer accidentally kill and replace a budding pumpkin. There is also a nice quality of life update to Golem. The Picksaw now has a 25% chance to drop from Golem, and this drop rate is a different drop table from his normal loot. This means that the Picksaw no longer contests with the other drops, making getting one much easier without compromising on his other loot drops like the Eye of the Golem or the Possessed Hatchet. Well, with those quality of life updates covered, let's go through a few changes and additions in 1.4. I'll exclude most weapon buffs for now. I might make a separate video on that later. Let's begin with some obvious ones. Terraria 1.4 added Pylons, which allow you to teleport between biome towns. To get these, you have to have at least 2 NPCs living in that biome. The NPCs also have to be happy, which can be achieved by housing them in their preferred biome, and housing them with another NPC that they like. Having too many NPCs in a single biome makes them unhappy, so keep to about a maximum of 3 NPCs per biome. With Pylon set up, you can now teleport from pylon to pylon, as long as there are 2 NPCs in the target biome. This new feature makes travelling so much more convenient, without having to set up teleporters everywhere. If you haven't been using these, make sure to give it a shot. Next, fishing crates now have a hard mode variant that drops more items. This means that pre-hard mode crates will not be obtainable after you enter hard mode. These new hard mode crates are really good, and are quite worth fishing when you enter hard mode. Even though you can't save up pre-hard mode crates for hard mode ores anymore, I think the new crates make up for it pretty well. There are lots of new varieties as well, such as the Oasis crate and the Obsidian crate. The Obsidian one is obtained by fishing in lava, using either the hotline fishing rod or bait caught from hell using a fireproof bug net. The Obsidian crates give a lot of cool items like the firewalking boots and the lava shark mount, which allows you to swim in lava without taking any damage. Biome crates will now also always contain a biome exclusive equipment, instead of only sometimes in the previous versions. This makes getting those biome specific loots so much easier, and it really incentivizes you to fish for them. Oh, and gold crates and its hard mode variant, the titanium crate, now has a chance to give you an enchanted sword. Not really useful, but it's a way to get this weapon for the Zenith, since 1.4 made enchanted sword shrines relatively rarer than before. Here's an interesting one. You can now fish up alchemy tables from the dungeon. That's right, you can now fish up an alchemy table. All you have to do is fill up an area with water, then try your luck fishing. If you want, you can just direct a pool of water into the dungeon as well, which is much easier to do. Well, remember how useless the Brain of Confusion was, compared to the Worm Scarf? In 1.4, the Brain of Confusion, which is the expert exclusive Brain of Cthulhu drop, has an added bonus of having a 1 out of 6 chance to avoid enemy attacks. Successfully avoiding an attack also gives you a boost to your critical strike chance by 20% for a few seconds. This is a huge improvement, and you can truly choose a Crimson World without worrying that you grab the short end of the stick, especially when it comes to the Expert Mode boss accessories. Well, that covers most of the significant quality of life changes and nice new additions made in Terraria 1.4. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon too, for more Terraria guides and coverage. This has been Zuzucorn Games. Have a nice day, and have a great week ahead. Bye bye!